The galaxy's dark reign. In a distant galaxy, darkness ruled. A powerful alien empire known as the Tikari had seized control of countless planets, spreading fear and oppression wherever they went. Their empire was vast and unyielding, a cold shadow that blotted out the light of hope for many worlds. The Tikari were feared for their ruthless tactics and advanced technology, which allowed them to crush any resistance with brutal efficiency. Earth, once a vibrant and thriving planet, had fallen into obscurity. The Tikari's invasion had been swift and merciless. Humanity had fought valiantly, but their efforts were no match for the overwhelming force of the alien empire. As the Tikari tightened their grip, Earth's cities were reduced to ruins, and its people were scattered or enslaved. The rich history and culture of humanity were almost forgotten, reduced to whispers of legend among the stars. For centuries, Earth lay silent, hidden from the view of the galaxy. The once great planet was now a forgotten relic, its surface scared and abandoned. The Tikari had no interest in the remnants of human civilization. They had moved on to other conquests, and Earth was left to fade into memory. The few who remembered Earth did so with a sense of distant nostalgia, but even they had lost hope of ever seeing the planet or its people again. In the midst of this galactic oppression, the Tikari's reign continued unchecked. They had become complacent, believing their power was absolute and their rule unbreakable. The various planets under their control had accepted their fate, and resistance seemed futile. The galaxy had adapted to the new order, and the Tikari's dominance appeared to be a permanent fixture in the cosmos. But beneath the surface of Earth, something remarkable was about to happen. Deep within the ruins of the old human cities, hidden from the prying eyes of the galaxy, lay the remnants of a once mighty fleet. These were not ordinary ships but advanced war machines designed to protect Earth from any threat. For years, they had been dormant, preserved in a state of cryo-sleep. The humans aboard these ships were frozen in time, their lives suspended in a deep slumber. The Tikari had never bothered to investigate Earth thoroughly. Their focus had been on expanding their empire and quashing any signs of rebellion. Little did they know that their neglect was about to lead to a dramatic change in the balance of power. One fateful day, an alien exploration team, curious about the old legends of a forgotten world, stumbled upon Earth's hidden cryo fleet. The team, part of a lesser-known faction within the Tikari Empire, had heard whispers of a lost civilization and decided to investigate. They found the cryo chambers still intact and brimming with the remnants of humanity. As the team approached the fleet, they were both excited and apprehensive. They saw an opportunity to uncover an old mystery and potentially gain valuable technology. The fleet's advanced designs were a tantalizing prospect for the explorers. However, they also knew that awakening such powerful machines could have unforeseen consequences. With careful planning and a mix of curiosity and caution, the exploration team initiated the process to awaken the humans from their cryo-sleep. The process was slow and delicate, and the team watched anxiously as the cryo chambers began to thaw. They had anticipated that the humans would be disoriented and confused, an easy target for manipulation. But as the cryo chambers opened and the first humans began to emerge, something unexpected occurred. The humans, though initially disoriented, quickly realized the gravity of their situation. They saw their once great planet in ruins and the galaxy under the control of their enemies. Despite their long sleep, the humans' resolve and fighting spirit remained intact. The awakening of the human fleet marked the beginning of a new chapter in the galaxy's history. What had been a period of dark oppression was about to face a significant shift. The Tikari, who had long believed their rule was unchallenged, were about to encounter a force they had long forgotten. The humans were back, and they were ready to reclaim their place in the galaxy. This unexpected turn of events would set off a chain reaction that would change the course of galactic history. The darkness that had once seemed invincible was about to face a powerful new adversary. The story of Earth's revival and the rise of humanity would soon begin to unfold, reshaping the galaxy in ways that the Tikari could never have imagined. Earth's hidden fleet discovered. The galaxy's vast expanse held countless secrets, and one of its most intriguing lay hidden on the forgotten planet of Earth. For centuries, Earth had been nothing more than a distant memory, its once glorious past buried under layers of dust and rubble. The Tikari Empire, with its relentless drive for conquest, had long since moved past Earth, focusing on new worlds and new forms of domination. The planet's name had become a whisper of history, its location largely forgotten. But fate has a way of turning the wheels of history, and it was a curious group of alien explorers who would uncover Earth's hidden legacy. The explorers were members of a lesser-known faction within the Tikari Empire, who had always been fascinated by old legends and forgotten worlds. They had heard fragmented stories about a lost human civilization and decided to investigate these old tales. Driven by both curiosity and a desire to discover new technologies, they set their sights on Earth. The journey to Earth was long and uneventful. The explorers had prepared themselves for the possibility of encountering a dead world, but they were still intrigued by the mystery. When their ship finally entered Earth's orbit, they were greeted by a scene of desolation. The planet was covered in a thick layer of dust and debris, and its surface was marred by the scars of old battles. Undeterred, the explorers began their descent to the planet's surface. They landed in the ruins of what had once been a bustling city. The remnants of human civilization were scattered around them. Crumbling buildings, shattered streets, and overgrown vegetation. It was clear that Earth had been abandoned for a long time, but the explorers were not looking for signs of life. Instead, they were searching for something far more valuable. As they scoured the ruins, they came across a massive underground facility, hidden beneath layers of rubble. The facility had been built to withstand the most severe of attacks, and it had remained largely intact despite the devastation above. The explorers knew they had stumbled upon something significant. The facility's design was far more advanced than anything they had seen before, hinting at a lost civilization with incredible technological prowess. Inside the facility, the explorers found a series of massive cryo chambers lined up in rows like the graves of ancient warriors. The chambers were sealed tight, and their advanced construction suggested that they had been built to preserve something, or someone, of great importance. The explorers were both excited and apprehensive. They had discovered a hidden treasure trove of old technology, but they were also aware that awakening whatever lay inside the chambers could have unforeseen consequences. With a mix of careful planning and anticipation, the explorers began the process of opening the cryo chambers. The advanced systems within the chambers were slowly activated, and the process of thawing out the frozen inhabitants began. The explorers watched with bated breath as the chambers started to hum and glow, their ancient mechanisms coming to life after centuries of dormancy. One by one, the chambers opened, revealing the sleeping forms of humans who had been preserved in time. The explorers observed with a mix of awe and anxiety as the humans began to stir. The initial signs of life were subtle, a twitch of a finger, a flutter of an eyelid. But as the process continued, the humans began to wake up, their confusion evident as they tried to make sense of their surroundings. The first humans to awaken were disoriented and bewildered. They had been asleep for centuries, and the world they knew was long gone. As they adjusted to the new reality, they saw the ruins of their once great civilization and the alien invaders who had discovered them. The shock of their situation was palpable, but as their minds cleared, a deep sense of purpose began to emerge. The explorers, initially viewing the awakening humans with detached curiosity, now realized the gravity of their discovery. These were not just relics of a lost world. They were the key to understanding a powerful and forgotten civilization. The potential for conflict, alliance, or even disaster loomed large. The rediscovery of Earth's hidden fleet was more than a mere historical find. It was the beginning of a new chapter in the galaxy's history. The humans, once forgotten and lost, were now back in the fold, and their presence promised to shake the foundations of the galaxy. The Tikari Empire's dominance was about to face a challenge unlike any it had ever seen. Humans, wake up! In the deep silence of the underground facility, the Cryo chambers continued their slow process of awakening. The explorers watched with growing anticipation as the advanced systems of the chambers hummed and glowed, gradually bringing the long-sleeping humans back to consciousness. Each chamber was a capsule of the past, holding the hopes and dreams of a lost civilization. The first signs of life were subtle but unmistakable: a faint shiver, a blink of an eye. Slowly, the humans inside the chambers began to stir. Their breathing grew deeper, and their movements more pronounced. The explorers, who had initially approached this task with scientific curiosity, now felt a pang of anxiety. They were about to witness the reawakening of a race that had been forgotten for centuries. As the Cryo chambers hissed open, a rush of cold air filled the room. The first humans stepped out, blinking and squinting in the dim light. They looked around in confusion, their minds struggling to process the unfamiliar surroundings. The facility's advanced technology was far beyond anything they had known before they went to sleep, adding to their disorientation. The humans, dressed in their old Cryo suits, moved cautiously. They tried to make sense of the strange, ruined world around them. The once proud cities of Earth were now just memories to them, replaced by the ruins and decay that surrounded them. Their confusion was palpable as they took in the desolate landscape and the alien figures who stood observing them. Among the first to awaken was Commander Elena Carter, a leader of the human fleet before the Cryo sleep. She was a figure of authority and strength, and as she came to her senses, she immediately took charge of the situation. Her sharp eyes scanned the room, assessing the surroundings and the alien presence. "What is this place?" she demanded, her voice steady despite the shock of awakening. The explorers, unsure how to respond, remained silent. They watched as the humans gathered their bearings, their expressions shifting from confusion to realization. The memories of their past life began to flood back, and with them came a deep sense of loss and anger. Earth had been their home, and now it was nothing more than a distant memory, overshadowed by the alien invaders who had taken their place. As more humans awoke, the sense of unity and purpose among them grew stronger. They were a people who had been through countless battles, and even after centuries of sleep, their fighting spirit remained unbroken. They began to communicate with one another, sharing what they remembered and trying to piece together their current situation. One of the younger humans, Lieutenant Mark Reyes, quickly noticed the advanced technology around them. He recognized some of the machinery and began to inspect it with a mix of awe and apprehension. The technology, while alien to him, held hints of familiarity, and he realized that their own lost technology might still be functional. "Commander," Mark said, turning to Elena, "we need to understand this technology. It could be our key to regaining our strength and fighting back." Elena nodded in agreement. "We need to assess our resources and figure out what happened while we were asleep. Earth has changed, and so has the galaxy. We must adapt quickly." The humans began to explore the facility, trying to find answers and gather whatever resources they could. They discovered old maps, records, and technology that had been preserved along with them. Each discovery was a piece of the puzzle, slowly revealing the extent of their loss and the challenges they faced. As they explored, the humans also noticed the presence of the alien explorers. Initially wary, they quickly realized that these aliens were not their enemies, but rather their discoverers. The aliens seemed as intrigued by the humans as the humans were by the new world around them. Despite their initial confusion and disorientation, the humans' resolve began to solidify. They understood that they had been given a second chance, and they were determined to make the most of it. The awakening was not just a return to life. It was the beginning of a new chapter in their struggle for survival and freedom. The humans began to rally around their leaders, their spirits lifted by the possibility of reclaiming their lost world and standing up to the galactic powers that had once crushed them. They were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, driven by the hope of a future where Earth could once again be a beacon of strength and resilience in the galaxy. Adjusting to the new world. As the humans continued to wake from their long slumber, they were faced with a reality far different from the world they had known. The underground facility, once a symbol of their advanced civilization, now felt like a relic from a forgotten past. The sprawling ruins of Earth above were a stark reminder of the loss they had endured. Commander Elena Carter and her team quickly realized that their primary task was to understand and adapt to their new surroundings. The technology and landscape were unfamiliar, and the remnants of their old world were now intertwined with alien influences and decay. The humans needed to come to terms with both the changes on Earth and the new threats in the galaxy. The team started by exploring the facility's extensive records and maps. They discovered detailed archives of Earth's history, but much of it was incomplete or damaged. The records showed how the planet had changed during their absence and detailed the rise of the Tikari Empire's dominance. The information was overwhelming but crucial for planning their next steps. Lieutenant Mark Reyes, who had shown great interest in the facility's technology, took charge of reactivating and studying old systems. He and his team worked tirelessly, deciphering the advanced machinery and repairing what they could. They were amazed to find that many of the systems still functioned, albeit with some maintenance needed. This was a small victory in their quest to regain their strength. Meanwhile, the humans had to adapt to the physical changes of Earth. The surface was covered in thick vegetation and debris, remnants of a world that had been left to nature's whims. The old cities were now overgrown with plants and animals that had evolved in the absence of human activity. The once familiar landscape was now a blend of ruin and wildness. As the humans ventured outside the facility, they encountered the harsh realities of their new world. The environment was more hostile than they remembered, with unpredictable weather and dangerous wildlife. They had to quickly learn to navigate this unfamiliar terrain, finding food and water while avoiding potential threats. Despite these challenges, there was a sense of unity among the humans. The hardship of their new reality forged a stronger bond between them. They shared stories of their past, reminisced about the world they had lost, and supported one another as they adapted to their new life. Their shared history and purpose gave them the strength to face their new challenges. The presence of the alien explorers also played a role in their adjustment. The aliens, while initially seen as potential threats, proved to be valuable allies. They provided insights into the changes that had occurred on Earth and helped the humans understand the new galactic order. Their knowledge of the galaxy was crucial for the humans as they planned their next moves. As days turned into weeks, the humans began to make significant progress. They set up temporary bases in the ruins, using the old technology they had revived to create safe havens and establish communication networks. They started to organize their efforts, dividing tasks among different teams to address the various needs of their situation. Commander Elena Carter led efforts to rebuild a semblance of military organization. She gathered her best officers and strategists to assess their resources and formulate plans. They focused on understanding the strengths and weaknesses of their enemies, particularly the Tikari Empire. Their goal was to devise a strategy that would allow them to reclaim their lost world and challenge the current galactic order. In parallel, the humans worked on restoring their technological capabilities. They repaired and upgraded their old equipment, utilizing both their own knowledge and the alien technology they had discovered. Their aim was to regain their former glory and prepare for the conflicts that lay ahead. The process of adjusting to the new world was not easy. The humans faced physical, emotional, and psychological challenges as they came to terms with their changed reality. Yet their determination and resilience remained unwavering. They had been given a second chance, and they were determined to make the most of it. With each passing day, the humans grew more confident in their ability to adapt and overcome. They began to envision a future where they could reclaim their place in the galaxy, restore Earth to its former glory, and stand as a force to be reckoned with. The journey ahead would be difficult, but they were ready to face it with courage and hope. Rebuilding human strength. With the initial shock of their awakening fading, the humans on Earth shifted their focus to a critical task: rebuilding their strength. The vast underground facility had given them a solid foundation, but the world outside was a challenging place. Commander Elena Carter and her team understood that to reclaim their lost world and face the galactic powers, they needed to restore their military might and technological edge. The first priority was to establish a reliable communication network. The old facility's communication systems were partially functional but required extensive repairs. Lieutenant Mark Rice and his team worked diligently to restore these systems, ensuring they could contact and coordinate with the various groups of humans scattered across the planet. The goal was to unify their efforts and create a cohesive plan of action. As the communication network came online, humans from different parts of the ruins began to gather. They were a diverse group, comprising soldiers, engineers, scientists, and civilians, all with different skills and experiences. Elena Carter took charge of organizing these groups, assigning roles based on their expertise and training. Her leadership provided a much-needed sense of direction and purpose. The next step was to assess and repair the old military technology. The Cryo fleet, once a symbol of human might, had been largely preserved but needed significant refurbishment. The humans began by inspecting the battle-ready warships and fighters that had been dormant for centuries. Some were in better condition than others, but all required extensive work to become operational again. Teams of engineers and technicians worked around the clock, repairing and upgrading the ships. They scavenged parts from the facility's archives and used alien technology as a basis for their repairs. Each successful repair was a small victory, fueling their hope and determination. They also focused on upgrading the ships with the latest technology they had discovered, enhancing their capabilities to match the current galactic standards. Simultaneously, the humans began rebuilding their ground forces. The harsh conditions of Earth's surface required them to develop new strategies for survival and combat. They used the ruins of their old cities as training grounds, adapting their tactics to the new environment. The training was rigorous, designed to prepare their soldiers for both the physical demands of their new world and the strategic challenges of galactic warfare. Commander Carter emphasized the importance of unity and morale. The humans had suffered greatly, and the process of rebuilding was not only physical but also psychological. They held regular meetings and briefings, keeping everyone informed about their progress and future plans. The shared goal of reclaiming their lost world and standing up to the Tikari Empire helped strengthen their resolve. The rebuilding process also involved re-establishing their societal structures. The humans needed to create a functioning society amidst the ruins. They set up administrative systems, established roles and responsibilities, and worked to restore a sense of normalcy. They focused on creating a supportive community where everyone could contribute to their shared goals. As their strength grew, the humans began to think beyond mere survival. They started developing strategies for their eventual return to the galactic stage. They gathered intelligence on the Tikari Empire and their allies, learning about their weaknesses and vulnerabilities. The goal was to devise a plan that would allow them to challenge the Tikari and reclaim their place in the galaxy. Despite the progress, challenges remained. The harsh environment of Earth posed ongoing difficulties, and the humans had to continually adapt their strategies. The alien explorers who had discovered them were helpful allies, providing insights and technology, but their presence also introduced new complexities. The humans had to navigate these relationships carefully, balancing cooperation with the need to maintain their independence. The process of rebuilding human strength was gradual and demanding, but each step forward was a testament to their resilience and determination. The humans were no longer the scattered remnants of a lost world. They were a force ready to reclaim their destiny. The time for retribution was approaching, and with each passing day, they grew more prepared to face the challenges that lay ahead. As the humans continued their efforts, their unity and strength became more evident. They were no longer just survivors. They were warriors with a purpose. Their journey was far from over, but the foundation they were building would pave the way for a future where they could once again stand as a powerful force in the galaxy. Forming alliances. As the humans continued to rebuild their strength, they faced an important challenge: forming alliances. The galaxy was vast and filled with diverse civilizations, many of which might see potential in partnering with the newly awakened humans. Commander Elena Carter knew that forging strong alliances could be the key to reclaiming their place in the galaxy and challenging the Tikari Empire's dominance. The first step in forming alliances was reaching out to other alien races. The Tikari Empire had not only conquered Earth, but also extended its reach across many star systems. Among the worlds under Tikari control were planets with civilizations that had suffered under their rule. These civilizations could be valuable allies in the fight against their common enemy. The Human Communication Network, now fully operational, allowed them to send messages to various alien factions. They included a mix of appeals for support, offers of cooperation, and information about their situation. The messages were carefully crafted to show their strength and determination, while highlighting the mutual benefits of an alliance. One of the first responses came from the Zoreth, a race known for their technological prowess and strategic minds. The Zoreth had been subjugated by the Tikari, but had managed to maintain a hidden resistance. They saw the potential in joining forces with the humans, both for the chance to free their own people and for the shared goal of defeating the Tikari Empire. A Zoreth envoy, equipped with advanced communication technology, arrived at the human base. The envoy, named Xeril, was a tall, imposing figure with a sharp intellect and a keen understanding of galactic politics. Xeril met with Commander Carter and her team to discuss the possibility of collaboration. The meeting was intense but productive. Xeril shared valuable information about the Tikari Empire's operations and weaknesses. In return, the humans offered to share their own technological advancements and intelligence. The Zoreth agreed to join the alliance, providing their expertise in technology and strategy. The alliance with the Zoreth was a significant breakthrough, but it was only the beginning. The humans continued their outreach, targeting other factions that had been oppressed by the Tikari. They contacted the Rylorians, a fierce warrior race with a long history of conflict with the Tikari, and the Neri, a resource-rich civilization, with a vested interest in stopping Tikari expansion. Negotiations with the Rylorians were challenging. The Rylorians were known for their warrior spirit and distrust of outsiders. Commander Carter had to demonstrate their commitment and capability to earn their respect. The discussions were tense, but the humans' determination and the shared goal of fighting the Tikari eventually won the Rylorians over. The Neri presented a different challenge. They were a reclusive race, wary of external interference. However, the humans were able to show that their fight was not just for Earth, but for the freedom of all oppressed civilizations. The Neri, recognizing the strategic advantage of a united front, agreed to provide resources and support. As the alliance grew, so did the complexity of the relationships among the different factions. The humans had to navigate a web of political and cultural differences, ensuring that the alliance remained strong and focused on their common goals. They held regular meetings and diplomatic sessions to address any conflicts and build trust among the allied races. The formation of the alliance marked a turning point in the human effort to reclaim their place in the galaxy. With the combined strength of multiple civilizations, they were better equipped to challenge the Tikari Empire. The Allies brought a wealth of knowledge, technology, and resources that significantly enhanced the humans' capabilities. Commander Carter and her team worked tirelessly to coordinate the Alliance's efforts. They developed joint strategies, planned coordinated attacks, and shared intelligence. The United Front created a new balance of power in the galaxy, challenging the Tikari's dominance and giving hope to those who had long suffered under their rule. Forming alliances was a crucial step in the humans' journey, but it was only one part of a larger plan. With the support of their new allies, they prepared to launch a series of operations aimed at undermining the Tikari Empire's control and reclaiming their lost world. The path ahead was still fraught with challenges, but the strength of their alliances provided a solid foundation for the battles to come. The humans, once isolated and weakened, now stood as leaders of a coalition of oppressed races. Their determination and strategic acumen, combined with the support of their allies, set the stage for a renewed struggle for freedom and justice in the galaxy. The first attacks. With alliances formed and their strength rebuilt, the time had come for the humans and their newfound allies to take action against the Tikari Empire. Commander Elena Carter knew that the first attacks would set the tone for the rest of their campaign. They had to strike swiftly and decisively to disrupt the Tikari's control and demonstrate their newfound power. The first target was a Tikari supply depot, located on the edge of a strategically important star system. The depot was crucial for supplying Tikari forces across the galaxy, making it a key point for their operations. The plan was to hit it hard, disrupt their logistics, and create confusion within their ranks. The Allied forces, including human warships, Zorath technology experts, Rylorian warriors, and Nereid resource managers, assembled for the operation. Each group played a crucial role in the attack. The humans provided the tactical leadership and coordination, the Zorath handled the technology and intelligence, the Rylorians supplied the combat strength, and the Nari ensured the necessary resources were in place. Commander Carter briefed her team on the plan. The operation was to be executed in 2 phases. First, a stealthy infiltration team would disable the depot's defenses. Once the defenses were down, a full-scale assault force would move in to destroy key infrastructure and disrupt the supply lines. The goal was to cause maximum damage with minimal loss. As the operation began, the infiltration team, equipped with advanced stealth technology provided by the Zorath, approached the depot. They moved silently through the void of space, avoiding detection by using advanced cloaking devices. Their mission was delicate but critical. If they were detected, the entire attack could be compromised. The team reached the depot's outer defenses and began their work. They hacked into the security systems, disabling alarms and surveillance. Their progress was steady, but the tension was high. Every second counted, and any misstep could alert the Tikari forces. Meanwhile, the assault force prepared for their strike. Human warships, bristling with advanced weaponry and enhanced by the Zorath's upgrades, were poised for action. The Rylorian fighters, known for their combat prowess, were ready to launch. The Nari provided logistical support, ensuring that all resources were ready and available for the attack. With the defenses down, the signal was given. The assault force sprang into action. The human warships moved swiftly, their weapons primed and ready. The Rylorian fighters roared into the fray, engaging Tikari forces and creating chaos. The Nari-managed supply chains were utilized to their fullest, ensuring the Allied forces had the ammunition and support they needed. The battle was intense. The Tikari forces, caught off guard, scrambled to respond. Their supply depot, once a symbol of their power, was now engulfed in flames and explosions. The humans and their allies pressed the attack, targeting key structures and causing widespread damage. Despite the chaos, the attack was carefully coordinated. Each allied faction executed their roles with precision. The human strategic planning and leadership were evident, guiding the operation to success. The Zorath's technological expertise provided crucial advantages, while the Rylorians' combat skills ensured the fight was effective. The Nari's logistical support kept the momentum going, providing vital resources and assistance. The assault was a resounding success. The supply depot was heavily damaged, its operations severely disrupted. The Tikari Empire faced significant setbacks as a result. The attack not only achieved its immediate goals, but also sent a powerful message to the galaxy. The Alliance was a force to be reckoned with. The aftermath of the attack brought mixed emotions. The Allies celebrated their victory, but they also recognized the challenges ahead. The Tikari would respond, and the battles to come would be even more challenging. The humans and their allies prepared for the next phase of their campaign, knowing that their first success was just the beginning. Commander Carter addressed her team, praising their efforts and reinforcing their commitment to the cause. "This is just the start," she said. "We have shown what we can do, but we must remain vigilant and continue our fight. The Tikari will come at us with everything they have, and we must be ready." The first attacks had marked the beginning of a new chapter in the struggle against the Tikari Empire. The humans and their allies were no longer passive victims. They were active participants in the fight for freedom and justice. As they looked to the future, they were united in their resolve and ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Shifting the balance, the success of their initial attacks had sent shockwaves through the galaxy. The Tikari Empire, once confident in their dominance, now faced a new and formidable threat. Commander Elena Carter and her allies knew that they needed to build on their early victories to shift the balance of power decisively in their favor. The next phase of their campaign was critical for setting the stage for a broader offensive against the Tikari. With the Tikari supply depot destroyed, their empire's logistics were in disarray. The humans and their allies saw an opportunity to strike while the Tikari were vulnerable. The goal was to exploit this disruption and further weaken their enemies' control. To do this, they needed to launch a series of coordinated attacks on key Tikari installations and strategic points. The first target was a major Tikari military base located on a remote planet. This base was essential for coordinating Tikari military operations across several star systems. If they could take it out, they would cripple the Tikari's ability to organize and deploy their forces effectively. Commander Carter and her team devised a bold plan. They would launch a two-pronged attack, a diversionary strike to draw Tikari forces away from the base, and a main assault to capture or destroy the base itself. The diversionary strike would involve a surprise attack on a secondary target, drawing attention away from the primary objective. The Allied forces prepared for the operation with meticulous planning. The Rylorians took charge of the diversionary strike, launching a sudden and intense attack on a lesser Tikari outpost. Their goal was to create enough confusion and distraction to keep the Tikari forces occupied and away from the main base. Meanwhile, the human warships and Zorath technology experts readied themselves for the primary assault. The plan was to infiltrate the base using stealth technology and precise intelligence. The Zorath provided crucial data on the base's defenses, while the humans' tactical leadership coordinated the attack. As the diversionary strike commenced, the Tikari forces responded quickly, deploying reinforcements to the outpost. This reaction created the opening needed for the main assault. The human warships, backed by Zorath technology, approached the target base undetected. The assault force moved in with precision. They bypassed the outer defenses using advanced cloaking devices and hacked into the base's security systems. The infiltration team worked swiftly to disable the base's internal defenses and communication systems. Once the defenses were down, the full assault force launched their attack. The battle at the Tikari military base was fierce. The humans and their allies faced well-entrenched Tikari defenders who were determined to protect their strategic asset. Despite the strong resistance, the Alliance's superior tactics and coordination made the difference. The human warships unleashed powerful strikes, while the Rylorian fighters provided essential air support. Inside the base, the infiltration team continued their mission, targeting key infrastructure and command centers. The base's control systems were sabotaged, causing widespread chaos. The Tikari struggled to respond effectively, their communications and coordination in disarray. The battle raged on, with both sides taking heavy losses. However, the Allied forces' determination and strategic advantage began to turn the tide. The Tikari base, once a symbol of their strength, was now being overwhelmed. The humans and their allies pushed forward, capturing or destroying critical facilities and securing control over the base. The successful capture or destruction of the Tikari military base was a significant turning point in the campaign. It demonstrated the Alliance's ability to challenge Tikari supremacy and shift the balance of power. The Tikari Empire's control over the region was severely weakened, and their ability to respond effectively was hampered. In the aftermath of the battle, Commander Carter and her team assessed their gains and planned the next steps. The success of the operation had boosted the morale of the Allied forces and solidified their resolve. They knew that the fight was far from over, but they were now better positioned to press their advantage and continue their campaign against the Tikari. The shifting balance of power had far-reaching implications. The Tikari Empire, once confident in their dominance, now faced a serious challenge. The humans and their allies had proven their ability to make a difference and were poised to continue their efforts. The path ahead was still fraught with challenges, but the momentum was now on their side. As they prepared for the next phase of their campaign, Commander Carter and her allies remained focused on their ultimate goal, liberating their world and restoring balance to the galaxy. The battle for freedom and justice was far from over, but the shifting balance marked a new chapter in their struggle against the Tikari Empire. A new beginning. The battle for the Tikari military base had been a crucial victory, but the war was far from over. Commander Elena Carter and her allies had proven their strength and resilience, but the path to liberation was still full of challenges. As they surveyed the aftermath of their recent triumph, they knew they had to prepare for the next phase of their campaign. This was not just about fighting battles, it was about laying the groundwork for a new beginning. In the wake of their successes, the Allied forces began to focus on rebuilding and consolidating their gains. The capture or destruction of the Tikari base had given them a strategic advantage, but they needed to ensure that this advantage would translate into lasting progress. The humans, Zorith, Rylorians, and Neri worked together to stabilize the region and prepare for future operations. Commander Carter called a summit with leaders from each Allied faction. The goal was to discuss their next steps and create a unified strategy for moving forward. The summit was held in a secure location within the captured base, where the leaders could meet without fear of immediate Tikari retaliation. During the summit, the leaders reviewed their recent successes and analyzed the current situation. They discussed their objectives and the resources available to them. The Zorath provided valuable intelligence on Tikari movements and potential targets. The Rylorians offered insights into strategic opportunities, while the Neri contributed their expertise in logistics and support. One of the key topics of discussion was how to use their recent victories to inspire other oppressed civilizations. The humans and their allies had shown that resistance against the Tikari was not only possible but effective. The leaders agreed that spreading their message of hope and strength could encourage other worlds to join their cause. The summit also addressed the need for continued cooperation among the Allied factions. Despite their successes, there were still differences in priorities and approaches. The leaders worked to find common ground and build stronger relationships among their forces. They established regular communication channels and joint planning sessions to ensure ongoing coordination. With the summit concluded, the Allied forces set about implementing their new strategy. They began by consolidating their control over the Tikari base and using it as a hub for their operations. The base's facilities were repaired and upgraded, turning it into a center for planning and coordination. The next step was to launch a series of diplomatic missions to reach out to other civilizations and factions. The humans and their allies sent envoys to various planets, offering support and forging new alliances. They emphasized their commitment to freedom and justice, hoping to inspire others to join their fight. At the same time, they continued their military operations. The Allied forces targeted key Tikari supply lines and infrastructure, further weakening their enemy's control. Each operation was carefully planned to maximize impact and minimize casualties. The humans' tactical expertise, combined with the technological advantages provided by the Zorith, made their strikes highly effective. As the campaign progressed, the Allied forces saw a growing number of worlds expressing their support and willingness to join the fight. The message of hope and resilience resonated across the galaxy, and the tide of support began to shift. More civilizations rallied to the cause, adding their strength to the alliance. Commander Carter and her team understood that the fight for freedom was far from over. They faced formidable challenges and knew that the T-Carry would not give up easily. However, the progress they had made and the growing support from other worlds gave them reason to be optimistic. The Allied forces continued their preparations and planning, readying themselves for the next phase of their campaign. They were determined to build on their successes and drive towards their ultimate goal, the liberation of their world and the restoration of balance in the galaxy. As they looked towards the future, the humans and their allies embraced the hope of a new beginning. The struggles they faced had forged strong bonds among them, and their shared vision of freedom and justice guided their efforts. The path ahead was still uncertain, but they faced it with renewed determination and unity. In the end, the battle for liberation was not just about defeating an enemy. It was about creating a new future for all those who had suffered under T-Carry rule. The new beginning was within reach, and the Allied forces were ready to seize it with both hands. Their journey was far from over, but the promise of a better tomorrow fueled their resolve as they continued their fight for freedom.